prompted this legal battle between the behemoth of the CBC, this enormous taxpayer-funded agency. Tell us about how they were trying to crush this little tiny content creator.
So the little creator is called Lux Media, and it's a really small production that is crowdfunding by the people as well for doing many different kind of show. And that time for a bye-bye, because in Quebec we used to do a bye-bye for say bye-bye to the next year and beginning of the new year. So most of the time we do parody of what happened during the previous year. But that time they wanted to do a parody homage to this show that aired 47 years ago about Bobino and Bobinette. It was just a puppet with people that was for children. So they had the idea to recreate everything similar for the children, but that time they put the personage black. So it was for all diversity of people, but unfortunately, the people didn't really respond really well to that. So they didn't really give money for continuing to create more content of this show. So they just decided to abort it and just to forget about it. But one of the radio station in Quebec did talk about it and mentioned that it was created by some conspiracy theorists, and that was a parody, and they were using to modify what the children was thinking, and they were scared about it. And a little bit afterwards, they received a letter from CBC saying that if they are not removing the content, everything, they will sue them. And they didn't really have the chance to do much because they received afterwards like a formal lawsuit against them. And they were like, but the project is aborted. I don't understand. Some of the content I've already taken back from people putting on their YouTube channel without any watermark from the source or anything. But them, it's okay. But that little studio is not, because they always been like an alternative narrative of the government. So they don't say the same thing. They don't go to the same line of thinking. So I don't know if it's because of that they make a big deal around this little puppet show. But it seems like probably if it was another media, maybe it would be not the same thing.
So this little tiny puppet show, and they're crowdfunded, which is probably offensive to the CBC since they don't have to work for any of their money. They just get $1.5 billion from the Canadian taxpayer. This little tiny puppet show video that really nobody saw, and that the content producers didn't even make money on. I think in your video they said they really didn't even cover their costs to create it. It was sort of a labor of love. And they had Black host, which the CBC should love because they seem to only care about diversity. CBC saw this, and maybe the politics of the creators were wrong, according to CBC, and they slapped them with a lawsuit. I bet that scared the daylights out of these guys.
But they were scared at the beginning because they were claiming all the fee related to the lawsuit. So the lawyer fees and all the fees related, and maybe more if the judge decide to ask for more. The thing is like they don't have any money, and all the money is on their camera or the studio. And the rest is like crowdfund from the people. But I don't think that people will like be able to crowdfund like $25,000. So for them, it was like, we are going to in court, but we're probably being seized all our equipment because we don't have any money to give to them. And so it's why I thought it was important to show the people like where the money of the taxpayer is going to destroy small production as Lux Media for like doing a homage, a parody from a show that it's been 47 years ago. I was not even born at that time. And this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Trudeau pretends he's Mr. Dress Up all the time, and he never gets sued. So you sit down with these guys, you tell their story um, about how CBC is trying to crush them, and they really didn't mean to offend CBC. They didn't take on CBC. They weren't even critics of CBC in their video. They just wanted to do this cute thing that reminded them of their own childhood. CBC comes to crush them. You tell their story. Tell us what happens once your story goes to air.
So the president of Lux Media, André Pitt, received a letter from the cabinet of lawyer of CBC saying that we saw the report on your case recently, and we see that you aborted the project and you removed most of the video from the platform and social media. So we are open to let the lawsuit go down if you just remove the last video that is online.
That's so great. Now, what did the guys from Lux Media have to say about this? It must have been a huge relief, right?
Oh yeah, so I saw André Pitt during the conference that I covered for Maxime Bernier about the globalism, and he looked at me and he was like, "Alexa, I own you one. Like I own you. Like it was so happy because I was. It was like I never expect that that will happen.
Oh, that's so great. Must be a huge relief for you guys, those guys. Like imagine CBC. They have all the lawyers your tax dollars can buy. They could destroy your life, take your house, take everything. And that's what these guys were up against. And by
Mhm.
just going public and telling their story to you, all that lifted right off their shoulders.
That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.